To order the school board business meeting for Wednesday, August 27th. Ms. Tanner, please call the roll.
Basine,
Here.
Buffalo,
Here.
Inch,
Present.
Martin,
Present.
Paulson,
Present.
Thomas, Mr. Calagero.
Here. Our first agenda item is item 2.01, climate survey with the interim superintendent, Dr. James Pohl.
And actually, I'm very proud to announce that our new Senior Director of ARA, Ms. Krista McGarity, will be presenting this today. So, Ms. McGarity, podium's yours.
This one?
All right, let me get this. No, I can't see anything. Okay. All right, afternoon. I'm Kristen McGarity, so it's nice to be here. We're going to go through the results of the Parent Guardian Climate Survey. So good afternoon, Madam Chair DeCalagero, Vice Chair Thomas, members of the board, and Dr. Pohl. I'm here this evening to share the results from the Spring 25 Parent Guardian Climate Survey. Quick with an overview, there were online surveys were administered in the spring of 24 in English and in Spanish. Excitingly, there was an increase of 327 participants when compared to the prior year's participation. And there was representation across 45 of our school buildings. Parents were asked questions in 6 areas, including academic support, school leadership, student support, safety and behavior, family involvement, and communication preferences. Moving forward through the presentation, we'll talk about the levels of agreement parents had with the questions, and they'll be displayed as high, mixed, or low. The response percentages are noted on this slide as well as the future slides. The demographic makeup of the respondents, as I said before, there were 45 schools represented, and there was a diverse and varied where most respondents identified as Black, African American, or white. And there were 10% of respondents who did not wish to provide the ethnicity or racial identification. Almost a quarter of the respondents are military connected, and more than 30% were NPS graduates. All reported demographics, except for the graduates, are slightly increased from the prior year's survey. Regarding the findings, in the area of student excellence, there was high agreement among parents and guardians that schools have clear expectations and their students are challenged by the schoolwork that they're given. However, there is mixed agreement on the connection lessons have to outside life, and the feedback is timely and helpful. In the area of workforce, specifically school administrators, participants generally reported positive perceptions of their child's school administrators, as well as high agreement regarding the courteousness, communication of their mission and vision for the school, and are readily available to listen to parent or guardian concerns. Although right below the threshold, mixed agreement was reported by participants if the principals were effective leaders of the school, were responsive, and or made decisions in the best interest of their child. However, the 73% agreement on principal effectiveness is an improvement from the previous school year where it was 61% agreement of the respondents. In the area, the next few slides are going to be in perceptions of safety and climate. In the context of student support, parents and guardians reported high agreement that there are staff members available to support students with school and or individual problems, regardless of their child's race, culture, religion, sexual orientation, gender, or disabilities. The percent of the parents who reported their child had staff available to help them with personal problems has increased to 86% from 76% the prior school year. However, there was less agreement around the support received for academic or career planning needs of students. Parents and guardians agree that the communication of the specific details of a school's positive behavioral intervention support plan, which is also PBIS, should increase even though they have high agreement that they are aware that one exists. Continuing with safety and climate in the context of safety and behavior, it was reported high agreement of parents and guardians who reported they are aware of the school's rules and feel the staff and students are also aware of the school's safety procedures. In addition, was high agreement of parents and guardians who feel their child is proud of and connected to their school. The 76% of parents with high agreement to this statement is a slight increase from the 74% agreement of the previous year. There is mixed agreement in the context of staff reporting and tolerating of bullying. According to these responses, there is a belief that there is a continued work to be done in the area of fair and equitable discipline practices. All right, in the area of community, go back one slide. With family engagement, parents and guardians reported with high agreement they felt respected by staff as well as informed and actually encouraged to attend school functions. There was less agreement that the school respected, values, and/or used parent and guardian input to improve instruction. Even though there is mixed agreement, the survey responses improved from 61% from 43% the previous year. In the area of communication preferences, parents and guardians reported emails, text messages, and robocalls as their top 3 preferred methods of the school's or division's communication. As it happens items listed on the slide are the top 3 preferred topics they would like reported as they happen in real time, which are student accomplishment, school board decisions, and innovative curriculum opportunities. Here are some comparisons. The improvements for the areas listed range from 6 percentage points from the previous year through 12 percentage points when we could look back at the 23-24 to where we are now in the past 24-25. In general, the areas listed on the slide are parent and guardian perception of clarity of the learning standards and expectations, leadership effectiveness, availability of staff to help students with personal problems, administrative responsiveness to concerns, and engagement to attend school functions, and generally their perception of school safety. The summary here represents a generalized statement considering the areas with the most agreement while addressing those with less. Parents and guardians responded favorably about the NPS school's academic environment, but they reported feeling as if teachers needed to be more timely and helpful with their feedback to the classwork. In addition, they are reporting positive relationships with the staff, including administrators, but do want more detail regarding the positive behavioral supports and intervention plans implemented in their child's school. Understanding and improving parent and guardian perceptions of the climate of their child's school is how we will cultivate a safe, caring, and welcoming environment as stated in our strategic plan for Norfolk Public Schools students and families. All right, so that's the quick down and dirty of the results of the survey.
Other questions? Go ahead, Ms. Racine.
Thank you, Ms. McGarity, for the presentation. So I guess, well, one of my major questions, so did we just distribute the climate survey just to parents and guardians, or did we collect information from employees and students?
It was just parents and guardians.
It was just, so nothing went out to employees?
About that I am aware of about
So
for
there's,
staff climate.
there's the annual VDOE survey that has staff and student feedback on it as well.
Okay, but that's not,
This was just the
That's not
parent.
us.
Okay.
This is the one that we run locally. We actually partnered with Hanover.
Okay.
Yeah, we use our K-12 Insight tool, but Hanover helped us do the analysis of the data.
okay. And what is the timing and alignment with the VDOE climate survey?
I would have to get back to you on that.
So the VDOE climate survey starts in around January, and I think we have about a month and a half of a window there. And we do the parent one usually, we do that like March, April timeframe. And this last year for spring 25, we actually extended it another 4 weeks just to keep trying to get as many results as we could, or responses as we could.
Okay. Okay, and I asked that just so, like, for the board's perspective and so that we're monitoring climate including internal and external stakeholders, that if we can somehow get all of that climate information into, a presentation, in addition to this wonderful presentation, that we also have like the employee and student piece, particularly since our non-negotiable is also around, employees and students and having a welcoming environment, and so that we know how we're doing and progressing on that. But related to this particular survey, and I appreciate the extension on having it out there, but as always, response rate.
Yeah.
And what we can do differently to
More
get more participation. And granted, I get, we're asking our families to do a lot right now, like, whether it's school closures and consolidations, superintendent search, like all of that. We're asking, we have a lot of surveys going out. But, so I don't know what the answer to that is, but this year it seemed particularly lower than what I recall in the past. Or is it, or
So
is
the
it
20
on par?
I mean, I would say it went up by 300 participants.
Oh, it did?
I mean,
Okay.
so we were at 732. There you go. For 23, 24, and 24, 25, we were over a bit over 1,000.
Okay.
So we
I'm-
went up.
See,
so which
even
makes-
I'm mixing up survey, the different
Yes.
surveys and the respondents, okay.
And Ms. Messina, one of the things we did when we extended it, we actually sent QR codes to principals to post on their doors so that when people walked in, they could just try to give as much access as we possibly could for any end of the year event, anything else that was going on, which is why we extended it, because we knew more families would be in and out of schools at that time. But still, I crave the calendar results for every survey we do, where we get like 3,600, 4,000, responses every time. But getting over 1,000 actually was decent for this survey.
Oh, well, I have one final question. Related to this, the recommendations that were included in the report, has the administration had a time to kind of digest those recommendations and come up with next steps around an action plan for addressing some of those things?
We have, and so Mr. Brady and his team have included that in professional development when we're talking about feedback.
Okay.
Dr. Cataldo and the EDs have been working on it when we talked about the discipline, and we've talked about that in here before, about indiscrepancies about reporting. So that's been on our radar, so we've worked with our staff on that, for sure.
Thank you.
Other questions, Ms. Moore?
Yep, that was a touch on. But let me ask this.
Okay.
How many questions were in this?
That's the one thing I didn't write
So-
down is how many. I know there was multiple sections, but there was lots of questions in between.
That could be a factor. I'm just saying, people, you talk about 20, 30 questions.
People started.
They
just-
time out.
Yeah, they disconnect and it's like, so.
And I will say, Ms. Buffalo, that was conversation we had, which is why we partnered with Hanover to help, because they've got the experience. And they helped us pare down some, but to be able to get some of the response we want and to make it comparable over time, I think it's something over time we just might need to look at. And even, Ms. Messina, your comment earlier, even look at more of an internal survey we do with our staff members as well. We stopped doing that when the VDOE started because it was duplicative. But I don't know if we get as good of a response rate on the VDOE ones. And it's just, food for thought as we move forward and continuing trying to get the best feedback so that we can make the best decisions.
Great.
The surveys, they're all sent out via email?
There was lots of robocalls to remind people to do it. It was all over the websites, as Dr. Pohl was saying, any event at the schools, QR codes. 'cause
Social
As we
media.
all do, the QR code is,
So like, I wanted to I guess I should clarify. So with the text message, on the text message, just to say, hey, complete the survey, here's the link. Okay, is that what it says?
yes. Are you talking about because it's online?
Yeah, no, like survey, the text messages, so that's the second highest.
Oh,
vote.
yes.
And
Yeah,
so-
that's one of the mass kind of push
So when
outs.
you text, it just says, hey, mom, dad, whatever, and it
Complete our
says, hey,
survey.
here's the link, complete it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm a mom, a mom, grandparent, staff, so I got it 3 times.
Got you.
So, so that you will get it multiple times if.
Does the system, if they don't answer it within a certain amount of time, does the system automatically send it to them again? Like, I know, like, if you answer a Norfolk Public School call, once you answer, you're off that list until the next one comes?
As far as I'm aware, unless somebody has that it's just kind of on a cycle.
Yeah.
And so you'll get it on a schedule whether you did it or not.
Got it, okay.
So, And then you will tell the person next door to do it, just because, to
Right.
try and,
Okay.
yes.
And then just one last thing I wanted to note. I saw in the safety and climate under the safety behavior. So, hold on, let's see here. Yeah, so you had roughly about 92% of parents are aware of the rules that their child needs to follow, but only 58% are familiar with PBIS.
Yes. So I think they're aware of the general set of rules.
Right.
That's for a school, but a PBIS program is going to have very specific things that are specific for rewards. It's more looking at the positive side.
Right, of course, yeah.
Not as much, did you follow a rule, but positive reinforcement of the positive behaviors we're looking for. So there's nuances for every PBIS plan at each school depending on their communities.
Got it. Do we send out literature to students home with them on PBIS?
So the principals do, and then they also discuss it at open house.
Got
And
it.
then when you start walking through schools, like I was at Norview High School today, all over their walls, you see, what their PBIS, the one pager on PBIS all over the place. So
Okay.
they do their best to try to get out there. And I think that showed with the data where they know that PBIS is active, but seeing their own school's plan, maybe not so much. So that's something that we're working on as well.
And remind us again, it's positive behavioral.
Intervention
Yeah,
support.
intervention support.
Yes.
And I was thinking most parents are probably familiar with the do's and don'ts around, familiar with the do's and don'ts because of the student handbook. They have to review it, they have to sign it, and that kind of thing. So hopefully they're going over it with their children.
Reading it, right?
They're technically reading, right, so, yeah.
Thank you, and again, congratulations
Thank
on the
you.
promotion.
Thank you. And I will be seeing you all soon.
Yes, look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
The only thing I would say with the PowerPoint, flip that around, because when I first was reading it, I was like, is it all decreased? And I had to read it, it said increase. The
Oh, you were
arrows
taking
go-
that.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah, just a visual, I was like, oh, hold on. Then when I, reading is fundamental, that's why I was like, I gotta read it. Here's what-
Thank you very much. For agenda item 2.02, the board will go into a closed executive session.
I move that we go into executive closed session.
Second.
Ms. Buffalo, Moore Buffalo has offered the motion, and Dr. Martin has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Ms. Tanner, please read the motion.
Yes. Move that the members, bigger print. Move that the members of the school board of the city of Norfolk go into a closed meeting for the purposes which are set out in subsection A of section 2.2-3711 of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act as amended for discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of the school board pursuant to subsection 2.2-3711A1 of the Act. The subjects covered by this exemption are the discussion of persons and personnel actions included for vote on today's personnel report and discussion of investigations and future personnel actions concerning specific current employees of the school board, discussion or consideration of disciplinary and any other matters concerning students in Norfolk Public Schools that would involve the disclosure of information contained in a scholastic record pursuant to subsection 2.2-3711A2 of the Act. The subject covered by this exemption is the discussion of students on today's regular student support agenda, discussion of the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body pursuant to subsection 2.2-3711A29 of the Act. The subject covered by this exemption is the discussion of the award of the comprehensive agreement under the Public-Private Education Facilities and Infrastructure Act of 2002, Virginia Code 56-5575.1 et al. Sequence PPEA to Heartland Construction, Inc. for the final design and construction of a new Maury High School academic building, athletic facilities, and campus, consultation with legal counsel, and briefing by staff members pertaining to actual or probable litigation or regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by counsel pursuant to subsections 3711A7 and 8 of the Act. The subjects covered by this exemption are consultation and briefing in connection with several federal grant award notifications, school board policies and regulations prohibiting discrimination, and the matters set above in subsections A through C of this motion. Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo?
Aye.
Inge?
Aye.
Martin?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Thomas? DeCalagero.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the school board business meeting. Ms. Tanner, please call the roll.
Basine?
Here.
Buffalo?
Here.
Inge?
Present.
Martin?
Present.
Olson?
Present.
Thomas?
Here.
DeCalagero.
Here. Agenda item 4.03, will Mr. Inge please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I would like to acknowledge that today was Wear Red for Education Day, and so those of you who did wear red, thank you. Agenda item 4.04, can I get a motion to adopt the school board business meeting agenda?
I move that we approve the school board meeting agenda.
I second.
Ms. Buffalo Moore has brought forth the motion, and Ms. Basine has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Ms. Tanner, please call the roll.
Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo?
Aye.
Inge?
Aye.
Martin?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Thomas?
Is that an aye?
Aye.
Calagero.
Aye. Agenda item 4.05, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Pohl?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, members of the board, members of the administration and staff, our community, our parents, our teachers, and our students. In this month's Superintendent's Report, we celebrate the tremendous amount of work and learning that has taken place throughout the summer as we prepare for the strong start to this school year. We're thrilled to welcome back more than 26,000 students along with all of our dedicated teachers and staff. It's been a wonderful start of the year for the week and a half that our students have been in the buildings. And together we're focused on making this the greatest year yet for Norfolk Public Schools. From the Summer Leadership Institute to the New Teacher Institute to Operations Day to Unity in the Community, our teams have been hard at work laying the foundation for success. We also highlight exciting student experiences, including the Ruffner students at the Centera Health Camp and the inspiring visit from Delegate Hernandez to Terrellton Elementary School. And all of these moments connect to our theme of vision to victory as we begin a new school year united in purpose and committed to excellence. Channel 47, roll the footage.
The new school year is off and running. Let's look at some sights and images from the first day.
When I taught, it's the last time I was up this early welcoming students. So this is quite a morning for me, and I'm really having a great time.
Starting my career in Norfolk and being where I am now as the interim superintendent, I absolutely love it. It's going to be the best year yet for kids. From vision to victory, we're going to make it happen.
Virginia House of Delegates member Phil Hernandez was a special guest at Terrellton Elementary's open house just before the start of the school year. The delegate was there to present the school with an amazing award from the state, and afterwards he took time to visit with students and their families.
We're here to present a commending resolution to the school. They got an incredible award in 2024, and it was for their standard of excellence and their achievement, student scores. I mean, it's really rare actually to get an award like this, and so the fact that it was right here in our city of Norfolk, we just really had to celebrate it.
5 students from Ruffner Compass Academy were celebrated during a special ceremony marking the end of their time at the Centera Health Career Camp. During this 5-day camp, they learned about various aspects of hospital care, including what happens in an operating room. These excited students took away a wealth of knowledge about the healthcare field that will give them more insight into future career opportunities.
Booker T. Washington High School student Angel Brown Kale was awarded the $10,000 Audrey D. and Dr. John E. Settle Jr. Memorial Scholarship through the Access College Foundation. She will be attending Virginia Commonwealth University to pursue a degree in graphic design. 2 other Booker T. students, Brian Falcon and Alicia Samuels, served as Langley student ambassadors over the summer. They were able to collaborate with NASA engineers at the Langley Research Center while participating in the Slowing Down in Space Engineering Design Challenge.
Vision to Victory was the theme of this year's Summer Leadership Institute, and NPS administrators came ready to learn about new ideas and technologies. Artificial intelligence and how it can be used in education was the focus of the 2-day conference. A keynote speaker gave a great overview of AI, followed by several informative breakout sessions. And there was even a student panel that revealed how they view this emerging technology.
What we're seeing actually as generative AI rolls out is that education and healthcare are the 2 leading areas. And school leaders have so much thrown at them. These tools can really augment some of those things if they're used appropriately. And so just educating them on this could actually really help save them time, but also get them to do innovative and creative things.
By the end of the 2 days, our leaders were well equipped with a new set of valuable tools that will help lead them from vision to victory.
I really hope they learned how to harness the power of technology and artificial intelligence, and I hope they learned that they have an open door for innovation and that they really use that and they push the envelope, they jump out of the box, and they really focus on their school's needs, and they use the tools in their hands to guide their teachers to the students' success.
Over 300 new teachers spent 3 days learning about Norfolk Public Schools and preparing for the new school year during the New Teacher Institute. The event was kicked off with greetings from our interim superintendent and school board chair, followed by an inspirational message from a former educator who helps teachers find their purpose. The Institute gave these educators the opportunity to meet with over 50 vendors and attend a variety of workshops, all designed to help set them up for success.
I'm so grateful for the district to offer this for all the new teachers, so you're not you don't feel like you're being thrown into the fire, and at least you have some sort of an idea of what to expect on your first day, and that makes it more comforting and less stressful.
I think it's really good. Everyone needs structure, support, and information before, starting into it and getting hands-on like this, so we're well prepared when we go inside the classrooms.
Some of our administrators rode a school bus and got a behind-the-scenes look at how some of our departments function during Operations Day. School nutrition, facilities management, athletics, transportation, and the print shop each gave a tour and/or presentation to show how they work and fit into the mission of the school division.
It was actually very eye-opening. I don't realize, coming from the high school, how much goes on behind the scenes or in other areas in order to make our high school run. So everything from nutrition to facilities to seeing my students at nutrition was a great day.
I think it's good because a lot of times we can get stuck in our buildings. So we may get emails from different people, but we don't necessarily know who they are. So this is a great opportunity to get to meet them and actually see their place of business as well. So we know what's happening in the building and what's actually going to our kids.
The results are in, and unity in the community was a success. This 3rd annual event was a joint effort between the school system and the city of Norfolk to provide resources to help families get ready for the upcoming school year.
Over 100 vendors provided materials and resources to over 2,000 people.
Also offered were free backpacks with school supplies, immunizations, school board listening sessions, activities, and entertainment for families to enjoy.
Yes, it's excellent. It's our first time here, and We enjoy it a lot.
I think this is so beautiful, and this is a great opportunity for us to get resources and for everybody to, come together as a community.
Community engagement was the goal, as 2 meetings where the public could hear and comment on the school board's educational and facilities planning advisory committee's recommendations about the division's right-sizing initiative. Norview and Lake Taylor High Schools were the locations as stakeholders engaged in listening and learning.
The school board very much appreciates the community coming out and expressing their opinions about the potential building closure and school consolidation plan.
What brought me out here was a lot of the community out Park Place and the concern from the parents. They had a lot of questions that I can't answer, so I came here just to see what the pulse was and what was going on.
I learned that everybody is very passionate about their school, whether they live in that neighborhood, whether they work at that school, or whether their kids attend. Everybody has personal feelings towards any one of these closures that's on the list, and they're all valid concerns, and it's important that we're here at events like this where we can hear them and address them.
Norfolk Public Schools' school nutrition department has been recognized by the Virginia School Board Association as a winner of the Food for Thought competition in the category of mental health and nutrition initiatives for their food bridge.
The food bridge is part of like a safety net to ensure that no one falls through. So what that's really about is just helping families reduce the chronic stress associated with food insecurity by creating a really stable school nutrition program that supports the students during the school day, after the school day, and supports families on academic breaks.
Despite this being their second time winning this award, they aren't very interested in accolades.
We don't do it for recognition, we do it for our kids. But of course it feels great that Norfolk Public Schools can be recognized for some of the good work that, we're doing collectively.
Norfolk Public Schools Equity and Excellence Learning Centers were featured on a recent segment of the Hampton Road Show. Jerry Smith from the Department of Communications and Community Engagement discussed what the centers are and how they embrace the needs of our students, families, and the surrounding communities.
For complete video stories and more division-wide information about Norfolk Public Schools, visit the NPS website and check out our YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram, NPS newsletter, and our podcast, NPS Unplugged.
And that concludes our report. Thank you very much.
Now let's move on to agenda item 4.06, citizens' comments. Ms. Tanner, how many speakers do we have for this evening?
Madam Chair, for today's citizens' comments, we have 6 speakers. Today's speakers signed up for public comments before the start of today's business meeting. If you would like to provide public comments, you are required to state the agenda item or items or topic you are addressing prior to providing your public comments at this meeting. When your name is called, please come forward to the speaker's podium, state your name and whether you have a child in Norfolk Public Schools, or if you're employed by the district, and state your agenda item again and items. One person should speak at a time. If you are representing a group, state the group's name. You may ask your group members to stand in place to be recognized. Your speaking time is limited to 3 minutes. A timer is set with an alarm that will signify the end of your speaking time. State your position and give relevant facts. Avoid saying anything that identifies students or personnel information about individual employees. Personnel, disciplinary, and confidential matters may be addressed directly to the school board via email at schoolboard@npsk12.com. Comments should be addressed to the board, not addressed to an individual board member. School board members do not respond to public comments at the time they are given, and any written statements or supporting materials should be given to the clerk. Our first speaker is Dr. Yancey, followed by Patrick Berry.
Good evening, board members. My name is Dr. Yancey. I have no children in the Norfolk School District, a little too old for that, but I thank you guys for your opportunity to have me. I am the CEO and founder of Virtual Peace of Mind, which is a mental health private practice. About 8 months ago, the Department of Education put out a request for proposal to offer telehealth services statewide. And about 8 weeks ago, I found out I won that contract. And so I have been crisscrossing the state, speaking with boards of districts. My niche is our underrepresented, smaller districts that typically does not have the funding for telehealth services. So we've been reaching out to these communities, pretty much districts from 25,000 student populations or lower. We're welcoming other districts, but that is our niche that we're trying to reach out to. So I just wanted to come speak to you about providing your school, your district, some telehealth services. I've reached out and sent out some flyers. I've been getting a lot of response from districts, but mostly it's that we cannot afford mental health services. And so I just continue to try to look for resources. We found additional funding. So I'm reaching out for grants, and I'm looking for grants for schools. DBHDS just put out a grant that they are providing for specifically telehealth services. It's $300,000. The deadline is September the 12th. So my group, we have been providing supports to schools, filling out that grant for them, or assisting them filling out that grant, because it has to be filled out by the district. And so it's just another opportunity if your school and in your schools and your district is interested in telehealth services, that I am here to help and support the Norfolk Public School District. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Pohl. I'm Patrick Berry. I am currently a 7th grade history, U.S. history and civics and economics teacher at Norview Middle School. And for the past 2 years, I have been honored to serve as the Vice President of the Education Association of Norfolk. I bring greetings from our president, Mr. James Parker, who, due to a scheduling conflict, could not attend tonight's meeting. We are excited to be back for another wonderful year of teaching and learning. We look forward to collaborating with the school division to ensure every student receives a quality education and that every student and staff member is safe, seen, and supported. Today, the EAN has launched our Red for Ed initiative. Every Wednesday, we are encouraging our members, colleagues, and community partners to wear red to show our support for public education in the city of Norfolk and across the Commonwealth of Virginia. We are encouraging them to take a selfie or picture and post on social media using the hashtag #RedForEd, Flood Norfolk Red, and Union Strong, so our voices can be heard and power can be seen. I thank you for your time and look forward to working with you this school year.
Thank you.
Next, we have Keenan Baskerville.
Good evening. How y'all doing today? All right, so today's students are different. We've got students who have been in school during a global pandemic, and now as a community, we are moving forward. So, yeah, they're different, but are we? Are we doing things differently to meet the needs of these students? As educators and community members, it is our job to consider our students' lives outside of the school. We need empathy, understanding, and love to create spaces of joy and fun in the classroom. Let me be clear, teachers aren't counselors and can't know everything about every student in the classroom, but yesterday, y'all got a boost to your budget, about $9 million. I'm aware it isn't set in stone, but I am also aware that these appropriations are annual. As we experience unexpected attacks on education, the school board, I ask you this: to utilize the funds towards teacher salaries and bonuses, including non-attendance taking teachers. Additionally, a portion could be used towards EELC programs and wraparound services provided to students for basic aid. To promote sustainability of the basic aid these services will implement, or that y'all plan to implement. For us to do things differently, we need to actually hear students, see students, and use social emotional learning. creating space for students to express how they're feeling, void of who they are as students in the classroom, and still get learning done. Because when a student feels safe, they show up. When they feel loved and cared for, they try. When a student knows that they are more than a test score, they ask questions that allow them to access the information. So today, I'm just asking that with those extra funds, you just consider a little bit about where you plan on implementing them. Thank you.
Marvette Campbell.
School board members and all assembled, good evening. I am a proud member of the James Monroe Eagles. I stand before you as a voice and advocate for our scholars at the James Monroe Elementary School. In the 3 years that I have been at the school, I have seen such a vast improvement in our scholars. They are amazing children. They come to school eager and ready to learn. Our scholars work very hard, and when they have their moments, we are right there to guide them, to encourage them, to let them know that they can do and achieve anything. This gives them the tenacity to let them know that they can do. This gives them the tenacity to try even harder, to continue striving. Our scholars matters. James Monroe and the community that surrounds our school matters. Our scholars help to make us better teachers. There is nothing more rewarding than seeing a scholar smile and say that they love coming to school. I had a kindergartner to tell me this yesterday. I said, wow, isn't that amazing? They know that we care not only for their academic achievements, but for their overall success. We have a very strong bond with our parents, and our principal, Ms. Fleming, and our assistant principal, with a lot of my other colleagues, lead the way, ensuring that our parents are always informed, and stay connected. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to be a voice for our scholars. James Monroe is like a slice of warm apple pie. It's a home away from home that encompasses love, security, and academics. Thank you for allowing me this time to come before you to speak. Good evening.
Caitlin Sheets.
Good evening, Dr. Paul, school board members. My name is Caitlin Sheets, and I'm a Monroe parent and neighbor in the Park Place community. Thank you for hosting the 4 listening sessions regarding the proposed school consolidation and closures. Thank you for being present and engaged. Thank you for asking for community feedback and input regarding alternative scenarios and solutions. Will the public be able to see that feedback and input? According to the last work session on August the 6th, the consultant left with that information and was to come back with a summary of that feedback. I am asking that you please look at all of the feedback and not just the synthesis of it. I understand that this is a huge task, and I don't envy you in it. The residents of Norfolk elected you, and we trust you with this process. Please continue to ask questions and have all of the information. Please make sure to have the feeder patterns that you requested. Please continue to think about how this will impact neighborhoods, communities, and most importantly, children. Again, I am asking for an accessible school in my neighborhood of Park Place. Our community needs an accessible school for our students. If the plan is to move the Ghent School to the Monroe building, please explore options for our community students to be able to attend the school in their actual community. Since the Ghent School is not a program-driven school, could Monroe students be allowed to attend the school in that actual community? Could those Monroe students that are zoned for Monroe be allowed into that non-program specific school so that the community can stay together and our positive trend in attendance can continue and is not compromised? The board's desire is for success for all students. Our community is advocating for our students and asking that an accessible school is pivotal to our success. Please continue to explore options to consider this. Thank you so much.
Will Thrasher.
Dear members of the school board, thank you for allowing us time to speak and bring our concerns and voices to you. My name is Will Thrasher, and I am a Monroe parent as well. I'm a dad to 4 scholars at James Monroe Elementary, and over the past few months, I've had the opportunity to meet several of you. Thank you for your role. Thank you for your time. I fully understand that there are many complicating factors in this decision. I understand that due to our finances, school closures must happen, and can appreciate the difficult decision that you all must be in. And honestly, I don't envy you. I would much rather be on this side of the podium than sitting over there with you all. With that being said, from the beginning of this process, I have been frustrated and confused with the reasoning behind the closure of Monroe Elementary School. My wife and I have been to many community listening sessions that you've hosted over the summer, which we appreciate. And the criteria doesn't seem to line up with the James Monroe closure on the list put forth by the consultant. Furthermore, I'm curious as what has happened with that information. You asked for our opinions and our feedback, and we gave it to you. Twice, actually. And it seems that the information should come to you directly and be posted publicly for viewing and not sent back into the hands of the consultant. And in times like this, transparency is of the utmost importance. In your difficult decision over the next month, we are simply asking for access for our neighborhood children. We're asking for our neighborhood scholars to be able to have access to a school in their own neighborhood. These kids need access to a local school that is walkable. Many of our children are brought to school by older siblings, picked up by older siblings, friends, and neighbors. And if you add the barrier of a bus, our children will be at a disadvantage. Please don't just look at the numbers and buildings and what is best for the Ghent children, who also are very important and matter, but consider our children in Park Place and the equitable education that they deserve. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Madam Chair, this concludes our speakers for this evening.
Thank you. Move on to agenda item 4.07, approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Moore Buffalo brought forth the motion and Dr. Martin seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Ms. Tanner, please call the roll.
Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo?
Aye.
Inge?
Aye.
Martin?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Thomas?
Aye.
DeCalagero?
Aye. Next, we move on to agenda item 6.01, the monthly financial report. Mr. Anthony Starks.
Good evening, Dr. Cole, School Board.
Good evening.
We're going to start with, before we get to the numbers, we're in a good financial position now. All the grants are being executed. Strategically, we have no major deficits or major risks at this time, and we're spending according to the school board's goals. And just share with you, each day we tackle very difficult issues with Dr. Pohl and the team that you see here to my left. State funds. So we were budgeted for 263 million. We've actually expensed 18 million for state funds, city funds, 170 million, and we've actually executed 6.8 million. Federal funds, 5.3 million, executed 1.3 million. Other local funds, 3.6 million. 162,000 has been expended. And I'll pause there and say these numbers are as of July, and they're going to change because we're lagging by 1 month. Our total revenues, 466 million. Actually expended 48 million, roughly, let's round up to 50 million. And do we have a next slide? Okay. For instructional services, for July expended 2.9 million. For administrative support, 3.2 million. Classroom instruction, 588 million. Social workers, 8.9 million. Instructional support, 491K. Media services, 27,000. And again, some of these numbers are lagging because we're just getting started with the school year. Office of the Principal, 720,000. Alternate education, 12.4. Special education, 108. Vocational services, 47. Gifted education, 20 million. Athletics, 31.7. Extracurricular, 27.7. And expenditures for summer school, 726K. Adult education, 15.6. Non-regular day school, 18. Central administration, 600 million. Student attendance and health, 121 million. Transportation, 647K. Operation and maintenance, 1.1. Technology, 6.2 million. So again, we're at the beginning of the school year, so you'll see these numbers tighten up as we execute through the school year.
Madam Chair, if I may, Mr. Starks, I know in your previous position you dealt with a much larger budget, but a lot of the ones you said that were 28,000, you said were 28 million. I just want to clarify for the public, it's not that big.
Right.
It was 28,000. Mr. Starks is used to working with much larger government budgets where the commas are the million indicators because they're written in the thousands. I wish we had that kind of money, but we really don't. Because we could have a lot of different discussions if we did, but please note that most of those were the 28,000 or 14,000, not millions. Unless you guys have some money to donate, we're going to stick to that one. Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Oh, he said next slide.
Oh, next we still have another slide.
That was it, Mr. Starks.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Before we
Mr. Starks.
Do we have any questions?
move to approve the budget, are there any questions?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Starks. And I was, because I'm not used to that amount of money, I too had thousands in my mind, even though you were saying millions, but we can all hope. Anyway, so I just wanted to declare, so we have 6 points, so going back to page, just so you can follow along, page 2, 6.5, like about 6.47 million in unexpended funds, correct? To date, the revenues minus expenditures.
Yes.
And has, like, per our policy, are we, and this may be a question for you and Dr. Pohl, so the funds, have they been returned back to the city to go into their general funds yet, or is that in process?
I would have to check to see the process, but the figures here just include this year's budget.
Okay.
And the reason why we have more is because the teacher salaries just started, even though we started in July with our budget.
Okay, this is as of,
Yeah, this is not reversion.
Oh, as of July 31.
Is
so
that
that's
what
not
you're
the,
speaking to?
okay. Okay, that's where thank you for that clarification. That's what I wanted to know, but
It's
the reversion.
Reversion wouldn't occur until the end.
Right, but the 24, I guess the fiscal year 25's reversion, that has been,
That's
That's
we
what
still
I'm
haven't
asking
made any
about.
requests on the reversion. That hasn't been, I don't believe that number's been finalized as of this point.
it hasn't been, okay, so
The
that's
city
what
hasn't finalized.
it hasn't finalized it yet. Okay, so that's what I'm,
Yeah, and
okay.
this is current year
Got it.
only, nothing from 25 rolling into this.
Right, so that's why I just wanted to clarify.
They haven't approved it yet, but we plan on booking it. We haven't booked it yet.
Okay, all right, so that's what I just wanted to have clarification around that. Okay.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Inge.
I know, doing citizen comments, one of the members of the public came up and said we received $9 million. Did we receive an influx of $9 million from state, local, or federal?
I was wondering what he was talking about myself. I don't know what source of information that came from, so I'm not certain.
And Mr. Inge, nothing has come to my attention of
Nothing's
that.
come to, okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that transparency.
I was just going to say, and I don't know that this is what he was referring to. I'm not sure of the amount. But, a while back, you requested the city to appropriate those funds that from the Commonwealth that were appropriated to all schools after the deadline for you to present your budget. And that, I believe, was on yesterday's city council agenda. So they did appropriate funds for you. I'm not sure how much that is, but those are state pass-through funds from the Commonwealth. Okay. And the Commonwealth may dictate to some degree how they can be spent. But I do think that at least some of it can be spent for things like, and may be intended by the state for things like bonus funding and something like that.
So, Dr. Pohl, you'll come back with us after you do your research to see if there is any additional funding, if so, what it is going to?
I will, but with that clarification from Mr. Cloud, I would be pretty confident that that was the budget amendment that we made over the summer that City Council has now appropriated to us. So it's already been accounted for.
Okay.
It's not additional funds.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Stark?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Can I get a motion to adopt the monthly financial report, subject to audit?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the monthly bills. Was it the one?
Financial report, subject to audit.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Second. Mr. Inge has brought forth the motion, and Ms. Messina has seconded the motion. Any further discussion? Ms. Tanner, please call the roll.
Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo?
Aye.
Inge?
Aye.
Martin?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Thomas? Aye. DeCalagero?
Aye. Agenda item 6.02, the Maury Comprehensive Agreement. A vote is required. I think there are some questions for our group, and so I'd like to invite Ms. Price and her colleague up, and I'm going to open it up for questions from the board.
You didn't even have to raise your hand on that. Are you going to put a motion on the floor first, or and then for discussion? Okay.
Discussion and then we'll move to the.
Okay. So I'm very excited to see this project get going. I think we all are in the room. This is a long, long overdue. I do have a couple of questions regarding the contract and some of the minor changes in the contract language, in which you're trying to streamline the decision flow, I guess. And so my question really is, after being on the board for 10 years and engaged in the community and know how, from past experiences around the previous 5 rebuilds, I have some hesitation and concern about not being fully engaged with all of the decisions. I understand some of them may be simple, contractual decisions contractual meaning, I should say construction decisions. But I want to know what the process will be like if there are decisions where you're looking for a decision where the educational space may be impacted by it, and what role we would play in that process. Because I just want to be sure that we're not, left out of the decision-making process if such a situation were to occur.
Well, thank you for that. That's an excellent question. So I think what's important to note is that the process moving forward is going to be very much reflective of the process that got us to this point. And all decisions up to this point have started with our steering committee. And Mr. Fraley is a big part of that steering committee, and there are several representatives from Norfolk Public Schools on that steering committee, as well as members from the city side. So that has been the process that we've taken to get to this point, and there's a lot of work left to do. There's a lot more decisions to make. And so that is the way we intend to move forward, and the way the contract is set up, is that once a favorable vote, we'll continue to work with that steering committee to get through the rest of design, and there is still plenty of important decisions to be made.
Okay. So the steering committee will be kept intact to the technical steering committee?
It has
Okay.
been very much a team effort to get
Okay.
to this point. We couldn't get to the point where we are now without them. And
Okay.
we can't move forward without them.
Including school division individuals,
Yes, ma'am.
expertise. Okay, maybe perhaps I misunderstood the role that team would play in going forward, so I appreciate that clarification. And that, what?
Further question?
Not specific to, I do related to this project, and Madam Chair, I know we talked about having a joint meeting with City Council and shared some agenda topics with you already that related, but inclusive of all the other school consolidation and closure discussion. So I'm going to reserve my comments around that for that time period. But related to this, I think you answered my question about our involvement, the steering committee's involvement, steering committee meaning the technical team, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Because we have also the broader steering committee. I don't want to confuse anybody. So I just wanted to be sure that technical team was still going to be in place and through the decision-making process. So my questions are answered.
Anyone else have any questions?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Inge.
All right. So I did have opportunity to look over the interim agreement that was agreed to by the Norfolk City Council. And of course, we have school board need to agree on to it as well. So just going back to your interim agreement, I know under your scope of services, you had it was in there for minority-owned, women-owned, and small business participation plan, SWARM. I know under legal counsel that has been removed out of the contract for federal guidance. So I just want to get your actual public commitment today that you're going to still ensure that access and opportunity is going to be available for small and minority-owned businesses.
Yes, and you have it. I believe when we spoke at the school board retreat, we were able to give you some current projections for what we're looking at, which is over 50%. And we committed then, we had an outreach program during the initial interim agreement phase, and we committed to having multiple outreach programs moving forward, and that is still our commitment today. That we want to align our goals with the city and school board's goals.
Any further questions?
No, sir, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to adopt the Maury Comprehensive Agreement?
Oh, I'll do that. I have the pleasure. I move that we approve the Maury Comprehensive Agreement as presented. So it's time to lay a brick.
Madam Chair, I'll go ahead and second that motion. Time is due.
Ms. Moore Buffalo has brought forth the motion, and Mr. Inge has seconded the motion. I'm assuming no further discussion. Ms. Tanner, please call the roll.
Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo?
Aye.
Inge?
Aye.
Martin?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Thomas?
Aye.
DeCalagero.
Aye. The motion is approved. Agenda item 7.01. This meeting is adjourned.